For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On a day in 1999, 27-year-old Hunter Bellamy left his seasonal trail cruise camp deep within Yellowstone National Park's Shoshone Geyser Basin. He was scheduled for a routine boardwalk inspection. He never returned. Despite an extensive, desperate investigation spanning weeks of relentless searching through treacherous terrain and unpredictable geothermal areas, Hunter Bellamy vanished without a trace into the wild heart of America's first national park. For 16 agonizing years, his family and the park community lived with crushing uncertainty, haunted by the specter of his disappearance. Then, in 2015, a startling discovery was made near a remote, unnamed geyser, a sun-bleached daypack crusted with ancient sinter, and inside a field notebook with sulfur-burned pages. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Hunter Bellamy. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now let's continue. Yellowstone National Park, a vast expanse of untamed wilderness, presented a landscape of breathtaking beauty and formidable peril. Its sprawling forests, towering peaks, and intricate network of thermal features drew millions. Yet beneath the surface of its majestic facade lay an unforgiving environment capable of swallowing the unwary whole. Among its most captivating and dangerous sectors was the Shoshone Geyser Basin, a remote and active thermal area known for its steaming vents, boiling springs, and treacherous, unstable ground. It was within this paradoxical realm of natural wonder and hidden threat that Hunter Bellamy, a 27-year-old seasonal trail crew member, dedicated his working seasons. Bellamy was not merely an employee, he possessed a deep respect and passion for the park, his role involving the maintenance of its extensive trail system and vital infrastructure, including boardwalks designed to protect both visitors and the fragile thermal ecosystems. His routine was one of physical exertion and meticulous attention, navigating the park's demands with an experienced eye. The year was 1999. On a seemingly ordinary day, Hunter Bellamy was part of a small work party engaged in routine boardwalk repairs within the Shoshone Geyser Basin. The task was familiar, a standard operation to ensure the safety of the pathways that skirted dangerous thermal features. As the afternoon progressed, Bellamy made a decision that would forever alter his trajectory and initiate a mystery spanning over a decade and a half. He informed his colleagues he would briefly separate from the group to conduct a final check on a section of boardwalk they had recently repaired, a seemingly minor routine inspection. It was a common practice, an expected part of their work. His absence initially went unnoticed amidst the sounds of their ongoing labor, but as minutes stretched into an hour, then longer, a growing unease began to settle over the remaining crew. The expectation of his prompt return slowly eroded, replaced by a chilling realization. Hunter Bellamy had left to perform a simple check, a task no more complex than countless others he had undertaken, but he never came back. The vast, indifferent wilderness of Yellowstone National Park had without a trace claimed one of its own. The alarm regarding Hunter Bellamy's disappearance quickly escalated, triggering an immediate and extensive response from Yellowstone National Park authorities. Within hours of his colleagues reporting him missing, a comprehensive search and rescue operation was launched. Park rangers, including seasoned veterans like Kira Donnelly, converged on the Shoshone Geyser Basin. Teams were rapidly deployed, fanning out across the rugged terrain surrounding the last known location, their mission to locate any sign of the missing trail crew member. The initial efforts were immense, involving dozens of personnel, K-9 units, and aerial surveillance, meticulously combing the dense lodgepole pine forests, open meadows, and the perilous, steaming landscape of the thermal basin itself. However, Yellowstone's vast and unforgiving environment presented formidable obstacles. The Shoshone Geyser Basin, while a target-rich environment for searchers, was also a labyrinth of hidden dangers. Treacherous thermal features, often concealed by thick steam or camouflaged by vegetation, posed a constant threat of scalding water and unstable ground. Dense forest undergrowth severely limited visibility, while the sheer scale of the park meant that even a concentrated search covered only a fraction of the potential area. Rapidly changing weather conditions, characteristic of the high-altitude wilderness, could further complicate efforts, erasing tracks or obscuring aerial views. These factors quickly hampered the effectiveness of traditional search methods, turning a focused search into a desperate hunt for a needle in an impossibly large haystack. Investigators immediately interviewed Bellamy's work party, the last individuals to see him alive. Each member recounted the events of that afternoon, detailing the boardwalk repair, Bellamy's intention to check a section, and his casual departure. Their accounts were consistent, offering no conflicting statements or unusual observations that might suggest foul play or an intentional disappearance. He had simply stated his purpose and walked away. Without any concrete leads or suspicious circumstances, the prevailing theory was a tragic accident in the wilderness. Despite the exhaustive efforts, which stretched for days and then weeks, no trace of Hunter Bellamy was found. There were no footprints leading off the established paths, no discarded gear, no signs of struggle, and no evidence of a fall into a thermal feature or an encounter with one of the park's formidable predators. It was as if the park itself had silently absorbed him, leaving behind only the chilling void of his absence. As weeks bled into months, the relentless search for Hunter Bellamy began to lose its intensity. Despite the initial surge of resources and the tireless efforts of park rangers and volunteers, the vastness of Yellowstone and the complete lack of physical evidence forced a difficult decision. The official search operation, once a desperate scramble for a living man, transitioned into a scaled-back investigation for a missing person. The active hunt eventually ceased, leaving behind only the cold case files and a lingering, profound mystery. Hunter Bellamy became another name etched into the park's long, somber list of the lost, a testament to Yellowstone's profound indifference to human presence. His disappearance joined the ranks of other individuals who had vanished without a trace within the immense, untamed wilderness of North America, cases where the earth itself seemed to swallow its victims whole. The initial flurry of media attention and public concern slowly receded, replaced by the quiet, gnawing questions that haunted those closest to the case. For Hunter Bellamy's family, the passing of time brought no solace, only an intensifying vacuum of uncertainty. Each sunrise was a reminder of unanswered prayers, each sunset a deepening shadow of what might have been. To grieve without a body, to live without an explanation, was a unique form of torment that stretched endlessly. They were left to grapple with the agonizing unknown, perpetually suspended between hope and despair, unable to find the closure that a definitive answer, however tragic, might provide. The park, which Hunter had loved and served, now held him captive in its silence. The park community and the investigators who had worked the case were left with countless unanswered questions. Had he become disoriented and succumbed to the elements? Had he encountered one of Yellowstone's formidable predators? Was there a fall into a hidden crevice, or more ominously, into the scalding, corrosive waters of an uncharted thermal feature? The case files grew thicker with theories, maps marked with areas scoured and rescanned, but no concrete answers emerged. Hunter Bellamy had simply vanished, leaving behind only the chilling void of his absence and the enduring, unsettling silence of Yellowstone National Park. 16 years had passed since Hunter Bellamy's disappearance. The calendar turned from 1999 to 2015, marking a passage of time that saw seasons cycle countless times over Yellowstone's vast landscapes. Snows melted, rivers swelled, geysers erupted, and then winter returned, each year layering new memories over old mysteries. The park endured, its natural rhythms undisturbed, while the file on Hunter Bellamy remained a cold, unsolved case, a ghost in the annals of its history. Time had not diminished the questions, only deepened the silence around them. Then, in the late summer of 2015, a park ranger conducting a routine patrol near the remote Shoshone Geyser Basin made an unexpected and startling discovery. Partially obscured by a cluster of lodgepole pines, a small object lay nestled amongst the fallen needles and undergrowth. It was a daypack, its fabric severely faded and brittle from prolonged exposure to the elements. The sun had bleached its original color to an almost uniform pale gray, a testament to years spent lying forgotten in the open. The ranger, trained to observe even the smallest anomalies in the wilderness, approached cautiously, a sense of unease growing with each step. As the ranger knelt for a closer inspection, a critical detail became immediately apparent. The pack was not merely weathered, its surface was encrusted with a distinctive mineral deposit. These were sinter flakes, crystalline formations of silica and other minerals, precipitated from the superheated waters of Yellowstone's thermal features. The presence of these flakes was undeniable, a stark indicator that the day pack had spent a significant amount of time in direct proximity to, or even partially submerged within, a highly active thermal area. The specific location of the find, precisely within the Shoshone Geyser Basin, the very region where Hunter Bellamy had vanished 16 years prior, sent a jolt through the Park Service. This wasn't merely a discarded item, it was a potential, tangible link to a long-forgotten tragedy. The discovery of the sun-bleached day pack, with its telltale crust of sinter, instantly reignited a dormant investigation, pulling Hunter Bellamy's case from the cold storage of history back into the stark, unforgiving light of renewed scrutiny. The wilderness had finally yielded a clue. The discovery of the sun-bleached day pack near the Shoshone Geyser Basin acted as a powerful jolt, instantly reactivating the cold case of Hunter Bellamy. 16 years of silence were shattered, replaced by a renewed sense of urgency within Yellowstone National Park's Law Enforcement Division. Ranger Kira Donnelly, who had been a junior officer during the initial fruitless search in 1999, now held a senior investigative role. The memory of Bellamy's vanishing had always lingered, a stark reminder of the park's unforgiving nature. Now, with tangible evidence, the file was pulled from storage, its dusty pages reopened to a new generation of scrutiny. The initial team, many of whom had retired or moved on, were now consulted, their original notes and recollections re-examined for any detail that might have seemed insignificant then, but held new meaning today. The day pack itself became the focal point of the renewed investigation. It was transported to a specialized forensic lab, where every inch was meticulously examined. Its fabric, though severely degraded by sun and time, was carefully analyzed for any surviving fibers, personal effects, or identifying marks. The most crucial aspect was the pervasive layer of sinter flakes. These mineral deposits were not uniform. Their crystalline structure and chemical composition offered vital clues. Specialists confirmed the presence of silica, sulfur, and other trace elements, unequivocally linking the pack to an active thermal environment. The type of sinter suggested prolonged exposure to superheated, acidic waters, indicative of a specific kind of geyser, fumarole, or hot spring system. To decipher the precise implications of these deposits, hydrologist Owen Baird was brought into the investigation. Baird, an expert in Yellowstone's complex hydrothermal systems, began a detailed analysis of the sinter's composition and the geological context of the day pack's discovery site. His work aimed to determine the specific thermal feature or type of feature from which the sinter originated and the potential conditions it represented. The sinter could tell a story. Was it from a violently erupting geyser, a passively boiling pool, or a highly acidic mud pot? This information was critical in narrowing down the potential area where Bellamy might have met his fate. With this new, concrete evidence, investigators were able to re-evaluate the original search patterns and witness statements from 1999. Maps of the Shoshone Geyser Basin were overlaid with thermal feature data, and the areas previously searched were reconsidered through the lens of the day pack's thermal exposure. Old theories were revisited and new hypotheses formed. The initial assumption of a general wilderness accident now shifted sharply towards a specific incident involving the park's dangerous geothermal activity. The path forward was clearer, though the ultimate truth remained elusive, hidden beneath layers of time and the park's enduring mysteries. The summer of 2015 had been unusually dry, and by late August, Yellowstone's intricate network of waterways and thermal features experienced a significant drain. Water levels in many geysers, hot springs, and associated drainage channels receded, exposing areas that had been submerged for years, even decades. This natural phenomenon, a recurring event in the park's dynamic hydrological cycle, inadvertently became the catalyst for a monumental breakthrough in the Bellamy case. As a specific, lesser-known thermal drainage near the Shoshone Geyser Basin continued to recede, exposing newly dried banks and mineral-crusted sediments, a further, more critical piece of evidence was revealed. Wedged between two sinter-coated rocks, partially buried by fine volcanic ash and mud, lay a small weather-beaten object. It was a field notebook, its once sturdy covers warped and brittle, its pages fused together in places. Its discovery, a direct consequence of the late summer drain, was no less serendipitous than the finding of the daypack. The notebook's condition immediately told a grim story. Its pages were not merely waterlogged or faded, but distinctly sulfur-burned, the edges charred and discolored by extreme heat and acidic exposure. This confirmed beyond doubt that it had endured the same corrosive environment as the daypack, a direct encounter with Yellowstone's lethal thermal features. The painstaking process of recovering information from the fragile, sulfur-burned pages began. Forensic specialists worked with extreme care, slowly separating what little remained of the notebook's contents. Despite the extensive damage, a significant portion of Hunter Bellamy's handwriting was legible. The notes detailed observations, sketches of thermal features, and most crucially, a series of precisely recorded coordinates. These were old waypoint pings, digital breadcrumbs that Bellamy had logged using an early GPS device, meticulously marking his movements and points of interest. For years, the original search efforts had been hampered by a lack of precise direction once Bellamy left the boardwalk. Now these fragmented entries provided an unprecedented level of detail. The waypoint pings, when plotted onto modern park maps, did not align with any established trail or known safe passage. Instead, they revealed a deliberate yet ultimately fatal off-trail traverse. Hunter Bellamy had veered significantly from the designated boardwalks, venturing deep into an unstable, uncharted section of the Shoshone Geyser Basin. Retired park cook Dutch Morales, who had often shared meals and conversation with Bellamy, recalled Hunter's quiet fascination with the park's more obscure thermal features, a personal quest to document the hidden wonders beyond the tourist paths. This recollection now resonated with chilling clarity. The notebook's data, combined with the physical evidence of sulfur burns and sinter, allowed investigators to reconstruct Bellamy's final journey, narrowing down the precise, dangerous path he had taken, a path that led him into the heart of Yellowstone's unforgiving geothermal embrace. The meticulously plotted waypoint data from Hunter Bellamy's field notebook, combined with the irrefutable evidence of sulfur burns and sinter deposits, allowed investigators to reconstruct the final, tragic moments of his life. His off-trail traverse, initially a path of curiosity, had led him deep into an exceptionally volatile and uncharted section of the Shoshone Geyser Basin. The GPS pings showed a gradual deviation from the established boardwalks, guiding him towards a specific thermal feature that from a distance might have appeared stable or merely steaming. It was here, away from any marked path, that Bellamy encountered the full, unforgiving power of Yellowstone's geothermal activity. He had ventured onto unstable ground, likely misjudging the integrity of the Earth's crust or the extent of a hot spring's reach. The sulfur-burned pages of his notebook, found alongside the sinter-crusted daypack, painted a grim picture of his demise. The evidence pointed overwhelmingly to a fall into a superheated, highly acidic thermal feature. In such an environment, the human body is rapidly dissolved and absorbed, leaving little to no trace. While no physical remains of Hunter Bellamy were ever recovered, the scientific and circumstantial evidence confirmed his death was swift and absolute, a victim of the park's hidden, boiling depths. He had not merely become lost, he had been consumed by the very forces he sought to observe. After 16 agonizing years, the official announcement of Hunter Bellamy's fate was delivered to his family. The news, though devastating in its confirmation, finally provided the long-sought answers that had eluded them for so long. The uncertainty, a torment spanning over a decade and a half, was replaced by a somber, definitive truth, offering a measure of closure in their profound grief. Yellowstone National Park absorbed the lessons of Bellamy's tragedy. His story became a stark reminder of the park's inherent dangers, even for its most experienced personnel. It reinforced the critical importance of adhering to marked trails and boardwalks, underscoring the deceptive beauty and lethal power of thermal features. Ranger Kira Donnelly, who had reopened the cold case, reflected on the dedication required to unravel such a mystery, a testament to the relentless pursuit of truth. Hydrologist Owen Baird's analysis of the sinter and thermal conditions underscored the scientific precision required to understand the park's perils. Hunter Bellamy's enduring memory transformed into a powerful cautionary tale, a permanent fixture in the park's narrative, reminding all who ventured into its wilderness to respect its untamed beauty and its powerful hidden embrace.